Yes. Soon enough, you will forget. Good evening and welcome everyone. I am David Legan, aka Sylvanov the Dark Druid, and I'll be your storyteller and host for the evening. Before we get kicked off, let's meet and introduce our players for the evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Walsh, otherwise known as Venture1399 on the interwebs, playing Carlisle J. Milliner.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Ravinia, also known as Nikki, and I play Dr. Janet Weiss, Malkavian.
Good evening, good evening, family. Our family. My name is Black Coffee Chase, or Chase. I'm going to be playing Jude St. Germain, and yeah, nailing this intro for the first time. Great.
Hey everyone, my name is Mark, and I'm going to be playing Luke Lennox this evening.
Hello, my name is Natalie. I go by Elnester on the net, and I'm playing Sarah Strong.
Good evening, y'all. I'm SailIrish on Twitch. I'll be playing Javier Grillo.
Good evening. I'm Morgan. I go by Sleepy Sheepy on Discord, and I will be playing Melissa Collie this evening.
Excellent. And we will be picking up our story after some many occurrences over the past few days in the basement of the Inova Manassas Prince William County Hospital, where we rejoin CJ Milliner and St. Germain in the antechamber to Mr. Germain's operatory, laboratory, morgue. What would you call this pit of iniquity?
I would call it a fun house, a place of play and frolic.
Excellent. Some might call it the morgue. Jude calls it the bounce house. Javier exiting the elevator as it comes to an abrupt stop at the bottom of its traverse, exiting out into the antechamber, where he then sees immediately CJ Milliner and Jude St. Germain in conversation.
I'm like working on the corpse from the previous night, trying to do the autopsy and just making decisions, doing notes, and just like I'm not visibly upset. To the untrained eye, I'm not visibly upset, but I'm assuming Milliner knows me well enough that I might as well be like shouting and furious as I'm just quietly doing my work.
I can't believe you're staying so calm about this.
Good evening, cousins.
Hello, Javier. Thank you for coming.
Anything but calm right now.
Yeah. So just to catch you up on things that are currently happening, I happen to have the sheriff stop over. And myself and him had a pretty long conversation, consisting of him inquiring about toe tag and the antics that happened. Where is she, cousin?
Which one?
Toe tag.
I followed the one after she left. I saw that Rico managed to retrieve her with moderate success.
Oh no, I'm talking to Jude about Salma.
Ah,
I thought she was with you.
She was dropped off over here to your lab.
I haven't seen her.
Well, fantastic. That's just the icing on top of the cake. So, allow me to continue. We are also summoned to Elysium, as per Prince Fiona. And apparently the sheriff was doing double duty, acting as a sheriff and herald, delivering such decree. He also provided me with some documentation, and he would reach out on the table, picking up a manila envelope, handing it to Jude. And apparently we have a anonymous benefactor that's provided us with the documentation to own the Marrakesh farm.
What?
Yes. When I asked the sheriff about it, he refused to give me specific answers. He said he was just performing a job, and the person wanted to remain anonymous. So I told him I cannot give him any promises as to how the estate is going to be handled, nor what we plan on doing until I speak to my family. Hence, here we are. And I was also requested to ask Dr. Weiss to accompany us.
So they know that these whelps are not ours, correct?
I brought that up to him. He questioned me specifically about only Salma. However, I told him none of the family was involved in any of it. So I did not lie, but I did not add any extras.
You better hope you find her before I do.
At this point, cousin, I don't mind if you get your hands on her first.
Maybe the sun could find her.
You never know.
So this Elysium, we are required to go?
We were summoned by the prince, and it's probably a good time to stake our claim. So I told the good sheriff that we planned on going anyway. We didn't have to be summoned. However, we're kind of forced into it either way now.
I'm not changing.
I never asked you to.
Gonna start washing up.
Speaking of pressing claim, cousins, since our previous conversation, I thought you should know I have closed the deal on the additional building.
Oh, really?
Will be the new blood and tissue center.
That's going to be very good for business.
Yes, that is the plan.
Well, I would definitely keep that close to your pocket in case we might need that for leverage this evening.
Keep what close to my pocket?
That information.
What information?
About your new clinic.
I believe he's doing the thing where he's pretending not to know. He's doing the thing.
Oh.
Thank you, Doctor.
Eel's sarcasm.
Jude's abject lack of sarcasm clearly pointing out the failure of Javier's discourse. The red light again alights, the angry bell buzzes as the elevator descends again. And much to surprise, when it comes to an abrupt end and the doors open, a more cleaned up, straight looking Luke Lennox steps out of the elevator.
Take a whiff of the place, try to get a sense of what's going on.
Smells of decay, death, formaldehyde, clinical bleach, whatever scent is hanging around Javier from his
Tobacco.
cigar. Yeah, it's there's an interesting mix of aromas, but it's a morgue.
As I expected. Luke kind of eyes around, looking to see if he can see the three gathered.
Oh yeah.
And when he sees them, he gives them a wave and approaches, stating, Mr. Milliner, Rico told me that you wanted my acquaintance at my earliest availability.
Why, yes, I did. Yesterday.
I regret that I wasn't available yesterday.
I regret that also.
Yes. So, I'm hoping you received the papers I delivered.
Oh, I did. You and I will be having a conversation about that en route to our destination this evening, but we'll save that conversation.
Would it help to say if I have no idea what they are?
Nope.
Okay then. So, I'm supposing you're going to Elysium, although Mr. Grillo is always dressed rather fashionably.
That's a good assumption.
Were you summoned, or?
We were. You seem to know more about this than the three of us.
I've drifted around a few courts in my days. But, I'm hoping it'll be good. I mean, I've never met this prince, whatever her name is.
Well, then perhaps you can show all of us around, since this will be our first rodeo.
This is your first time?
We're not part of the Camarilla.
I suppose that makes sense, but I don't know, you seem so distinguished. I guess I just assumed. I'm sorry. Whew. So you're gonna get a lot of questions about the events earlier. He'll probably be the talk of the whole thing. Do you have a story straight?
Story as far as what?
Your opinion on the thing. People will always be interested to know that, typically.
Professional opinion is that it's taken care of.
We don't have an opinion because it's not our sect, it's not our jungle, it's not our monkeys. We have an accord that we're not supposed to be getting involved in the Camarilla politics as it is. This is more of a formality than anything else.
I suppose you're right. I'm sorry. I always get a bit nervous and overamped with these things.
But don't worry. I'll make sure your nerves are calmed on the way over.
Good. Do we have anybody else coming with us?
We do.
I'll look over, waiting for you to say it.
As far as I know, the good doctor should be either coming with us or heading out on her own. I did ask her to send a message to give us a heads up in case she required a ride.
Okay, we should be good then. We should be good. Frankly, Benny asked me to be here, and I don't really know why. I don't really see why you'd want to show me off there. But no one wants to really show me off at all.
Simple intelligence and politics roll. Very simple.
Okay. Two successes.
It occurs to you that you've never been introduced to the ruling authority of this particular domain. And protocol generally states that when kindred come into a region, that they are both announced and accepted by the ruling authority, whomever that may be.
Okay. So, do you guys have a ride, or do we have to call Rico, or what is it? I spoke to him last night, but I'm not sure if he's going.
I have a vehicle. And I'm pretty sure cousin Javier has a vehicle.
That's correct.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Jude, and say you can keep your hearse parked here.
I wasn't driving.
I kind of figured that.
Let's not burn any more moonlight.
I suppose you're right.
Let me grab a bag of blood. I will be right back.
You should probably take the documentation for the farm and store it someplace safe also.
Sure. I'll file it away in one of my cabinets.
It'll fade into a scene back at Dr. Weiss's home office. Where exactly are you? Are you still hanging out at the... Have you gone to retrieve Sarah as you invited her to come along?
I'm still hanging out at the Three Monkeys with Sarah, so it was definitely, we're going to go to a party. It's going to be fun. I'm glad you're coming with me. I really appreciate it. And in the process of all of this, she is texting Carlisle. It's like, pick us up at the Three Monkeys.
And Mel. Where has Mel been sequestered?
Remember last time? She was in Rico's trunk.
I would imagine that after getting you away from whatever scene was needed to get you away from, that you would probably delivered either to Jude at the hospital or for Sarah's keeping, considering they have Helen also in custody.
Then she would definitely be at the Three Monkeys. Though I don't know if she'll be, like, what would the situation be there? Would she be allowed to see Helen?
That's a good question, Sarah.
I believe that she would be, provided that it was supervised.
Supervised visits with Helen. And who's supervising?
Myself.
All right, so Dr. Weiss, you can hear the heated conversation coming from below in the Three Monkeys. Sarah probably trying to get the two of them apart to lock doors, and who knows what's going on. But you've arrived as at least at the Three Monkeys as you said you would be, waiting for Mr. Milliner and taking Sarah with you. What is it that you do other than annoy the staff at every turn with whatever it is that you find that can be annoying to them, because it's fun?
A lot of times she messes with the jukebox and puts on various songs for her own amusement. I believe Barbie Girl by Aqua is probably playing for the next 2 hours on that jukebox.
Yeah, so it's well into its fourth replay. You can hear Joe cussing from the kitchen. The place has been pretty devoid of patrons and what have you in preparation for Sarah's leaving and not being able to watch over the place. So it's not like there's anybody about other than Joe, maybe one night person who's been working the bar while Luke's away doing whatever Luke's doing. Yeah, and even over the music, you can probably hear Mel getting excitable.
Probably. She, at the very least, she would have tried to explain the situation to Helen for whatever good that would do.
That point, probably Dr. Weiss is rolling her eyes at hearing the grumbling, interrupting the synth beats of Barbie Girl as she walks down. Yeah.
The V word is still being used a lot.
So yeah, you descend the stairs, and sure enough, there's Sarah, at least trying to push Mel back out of the way to lock the door from Helen, who of course is both terrified and
Probably
displaced at best because she's still being held captive.
Yeah, probably more irritated more than anything at this point. Definitely bordering on furious.
Who, Mel or Helen?
Both of them.
I'd imagine if I were in Helen's place, but I don't know how I'd feel about you, considering the occurrences and your attempts at cajoling and explaining, and even trying to get a person to be okay and comfortable with what they've witnessed. They can't shake it out of she can't shake it out of her head as much as she tries. And even when explanations are given, she rejects them. I know what I saw. You can't tell me. What are you? And this goes on and on and on and on. She can't get a grip on it.
No, like when I said she was explaining things, she literally explained everything that would happen to her unless someone stopped her. Straight up just telling her, hey, so apparently I died. I'm a vampire now. And this is kind of my situation. I was trying to escape these guys, and then...
So yeah, Sarah, you're overhearing the tail ends of this, and Dr. Weiss, you're catching the tail ends of this conversation as Sarah's trying to wrap things up.
Part V is used.
I fully believe that this whelp of a girl is getting her friend into so much trouble that he cannot get out of it any longer. And if this continues much longer, fully believe that the other vampires that associate with the three monkeys will do something very soon. Sarah is essentially trying to keep Mel calm, trying her best to dissuade her from explaining, but she can't stop her. There is a lot more power coming from Mel than there is from Sarah, but there's a lot more knowledge coming from Sarah than there is from Mel.
Oh, for sure.
So she's doing her best to not lose her temper. She's keeping calm and keeping her composure while knowing that this is going to be a very large problem for anyone associated with the three monkeys. And at this point, she really wants to talk to Betty about what to do, because at this point, she believes only Betty can help her.
So I imagine Mel hasn't really had a chance to see Helen, actually, at this point, given that her intentions would straight up just be to, tell her everything.
Right, it's mostly been through locked doors.
Yeah. So yeah, I imagine.
Mel, you really need to stop. Helen cannot know all of this. It's not going to work.
She already saw, everything. What am I supposed to fucking tell her?
I could be helpful.
Dr. Weiss. Come, please.
Is it the cheeseburger lady?
What?
You can sit down. I'm dealing with your White Castle situation.
She's not food.
That's
You hear a slight
your
shriek from the
opinion.
other side of the door, and you can hear footsteps backing away from the door as you refer to her as food.
So here's the thing. Cheeseburgers don't last long when
Stop
they know the
calling her that.
truth. I'm going to call her whatever I want. She may be your friend, but the thing is, you also have to think about the other side of this. She is food now. And with you trying to tell her all this puts her neck out on the chopping block even more. There are rules in place, and if you and your friend want to stay alive, you're going to have to start abiding by them. Otherwise, you're going to be roasted.
Now,
Would you like to be put on a cross and then get set on fire? That happened 6 months ago.
It certainly did.
She's not an idiot. She's gonna figure out, like, eventually she's gonna figure it out.
There is too much at stake. If you do keep on this path, you're going to kill your friend. Not us. You. I'm food too. And I'm telling you this from a place of knowledge. I've lived here through all this quite some time.
What do you mean food? I thought
Vampires drink from humans, and I am human.
you're human?
Yes,
You're not. But
I'm not one of you. I
Oh.
still live.
so why is it okay for her?
Do you
Because I
really want to
know-
know?
Because I know the rules and I follow them to the T.
So we
She
teach her the rules.
She is fucking useful. That's the other thing. Your friend right now is not useful.
I have a very specific talent that makes me valuable. You know how your drinks are always perfect?
I don't like to think about it.
Ah, no one does. That's why I call them drinks. But they're always perfect. Just right for you. That takes a lot of skill. And it takes a certain nose. Not everybody has that talent. That's what makes me useful. And that's what helps me survive. Right now, what you're doing is going to help get you killed. Finally. You need to start listening to those who are trying to teach you.
That fucking. That Rico son of a bitch even sets like so much of a foot within like
Rico
10
was
meters of
doing a job trying to get you back to be safe.
he's lucky I didn't tear his head off.
Yes, I noticed, which is why I'm trying not to enrage you any further than you already are. I'm keeping Helen happily fed with proper food and nutrition so that you
Are you happy, Helen?
alive.
There's a whimper muffled through the door. Sounds.
Yeah, that doesn't sound happy.
Is there a window to this door, or is it solid?
It's a door. This used to be a storeroom. Well, it is a storeroom for the three monkeys that was converted into a makeshift sleep room for emergency purposes, like the other three that are in the basement. Before that, it was storage for the church that the three monkeys used to be. So, no, there are no windows in the basement.
People are gonna come looking for her. Like, you can't just keep a person here.
I'm not planning on keeping her here. In fact, I would love you to leave. I'm trying to keep you both alive right now. And that's a lot more than I can say for most of the others that you know.
Trying to help you too, Mel. Six months ago, I was kind of in your position. I mean, I got a little bit of an education beforehand. I used to be quite like Sarah. Useful.
Dr. Weiss,
Then
can
I
you
got-
roll your charisma and persuasion?
Of course. 1 second. Three successes.
Mel, how about some resolve and composure?
Great skills.
And while we're at dice rolling, let's do some quick maintenance. Can everybody give me a rouse check for the day, please? The evening?
Nazi.
I did succeed on that rouse check.
Okay.
I succeeded.
I'm good.
Mr. Milliner, a little
Was I
hungrier than he
able to-
was before.
Resolve any hunger from last time.
Just roll your resolve and composure.
Okay. A die?
Yep. You substitute out your blood dice for regular dice.
Okay, so yeah, but my hunger was, I believe, at 3 by the end of last session.
Right.
So
I will grant that in the last couple of days you've probably fed and at least taken down one of those hunger.
2. Understood.
Sarah would have made sure she had lower hunger than.
Okay. So, 2?
Okay, so what you notice is as Dr. Weiss continues talking with you that her
No,
voice...
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
okay. I meant 2. Is my hunger still 2?
Yes. So
Okay, okay.
you've fed and Sarah has at least given you enough and convinced you to drink enough to bring down your hunger at least for once.
Okay, so 110, one of those blood dice was a success, and the other 2 were failures. The normal die is a 1.
Okay, so that sounds like
Success.
one success or 2 successes?
1 success, and then 110. Is that just?
So that's
1
2
success?
successes.
Okay.
All right, so what you notice is as Dr. Weiss is speaking to you that her voice becomes a little, at least in your ears, maybe lilting and almost sing-song-ish. It's comforting in a strange way. It's calming and soothing. It's not even as if she's trying to impress herself upon you. It's just she's practiced in the arts of communication and how to speak to people.
She is going to back away from Dr. Weiss and sort of just stare at her and what the fuck are you doing?
I'm talking to you.
No, you're not. You're doing something.
Maybe I wasn't clear what my profession is. I'm a professional therapist. I talk to people for a living and help them sort out their emotions and trauma and feelings.
Trying to help you.
I'm tired. Going back to my room.
Actually, would you like to come to a party?
No.
It's a very particular party where you will meet more people like us.
Yeah, no.
You kind of need to be present. You need to talk to these people.
And
They're-
you need to keep calm.
You like been paying attention the past couple days? Like, I don't think that's like.
I've been paying more attention than you know. It's how I
Have a
survive.
choice.
You don't have a choice, and neither do we.
Whatever, fine.
Dude,
It's good. This will give you an education. Come on. It'll be fine.
Imagine like at this moment we're like en route, like pulling up, and like Jude sits in the back seat, like unbuckles. Statistically, he's less likely to be damaged in this part of the vehicle than the others. So he gets out, he goes, walks like straight down, like bypasses everyone, and like is like going.
okay, so you go
Like,
into
get
Three
them.
Monkeys right down the stairs. Yeah, so that happens. as the three of you are discussing about bringing Mel along for the ride to Elysium, Dr.
I'll get you out
Jude
of here,
say-
Helen. I'll be back later.
Again, there's muffled whimpers from behind the door as the abrupt appearance of the red lab coat gentleman appears at the bottom of the stairs in the basement of the Three Monkeys.
Dr. St. Germain.
My eyes will like lock towards Mel and say no.
Know what?
Why? Mel, where are you going?
To a party.
No.
See? No. Cool. I don't have to go, right?
I mean, you're expected to go, and if you don't, probably bad things will happen.
So, which is it?
All people must present themselves to the Prince of the Domain.
Who's your sire?
Fucking. Hold on, just fucking. There's a fucking prince now? Like. Prince of what?
Is this a comedy? Is this
No,
joking?
it's not, sir.
And what the fuck is a sire, anyways?
Yeah. Then you want her to go to Elysium?
No, I really don't.
Cool. I'll stay here.
Maybe I think she should, Jude.
She probably should if she would listen, maybe take direction. By the way, that
is out of town.
that's
As far
probably
away from you guys as possible.
you know what? It's worse without us. Go ahead.
I'll open the doors. Just stay away from the Three Monkeys.
Helen?
You can go too.
I can't promise that.
What? What?
As far as I'm concerned, you both can go. You both can leave. This is my business and you're risking it.
Just let her go already.
You're putting me in danger. You're not just putting yourselves in danger, you're putting me in danger. But you don't seem to care about anyone but yourself. And I've only been trying to be nice to you this entire time. Maybe I should just let you go and do what you want.
You know, you keep saying that, like, it's dangerous out there, but, like, so far you are the most threatening thing that I've, like, run into. And just pointing at all of you guys.
We're the nice ones.
Doctor, that. Oh, I almost need another drink after that.
You know what? You should come to Elysium.
Upstairs.
Shouldn't she, Jude?
You're already on people's radar. If you don't go, it'll be bad for you. If you go and fuck up, it'll be bad for you. Maybe that's one less problem for me to worry about. I do have other people to mentor, so that not everything is lost on my end.
Whatever.
Jax does send her regards, and she... Oh yeah, now you're listening. Come with me to Elysium, and I will fill you in on the ride.
Fine. Is Jax gonna be there?
She might.
Fine.
Like, as we're going in the car. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, as we're going to the car and, like, we shut the door, making sure, like, we're on the back seat and, like, Mel's, like, in the middle of us, I'll start talking to her about group therapy sessions with Jax and, like, teaching you how to be a kindred or a vampire.
With 7 people, we'll probably have 2 cars.
Probably.
Okay, I'll go with Javier.
I call shotgun.
I'll take Luke. And I'll take Dr. Weiss. And I'll take Mr. St. Germain.
And Mel.
And Mel.
I have space in my trunk.
Well, I want to be right beside her to make sure she doesn't step out.
Very well.
Fingers in the trunk, I'll be honest.
Would you mind stepping into Javier's vehicle? Our conversation will have to wait.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll drive with Mr. Grillo.
Much appreciated.
He steps out the side, and as he's walking to Mr. Grillo's car, he sees Mel, and his eyes like open really wide, like something weird is going on, and he walks to the Grillo's car without actually saying anything.
Did you see something interesting, Mr. Lennox?
Yes, they're bringing that new fledgling to Elysium.
The entertainment, I imagine.
Well, it could be pretty entertaining depending on the court, but who's gonna claim the right of childer of her?
Not me.
Okay, I hope they can figure out on the ride over. So, about the amulet, has anything been going well with that? Going poorly?
It proceeds.
It proceeds. Don't you need like I don't know magic stuff, but do you need like anything special for that? Like weird like bones or like I don't know, like ghost goo?
I'm not sure where you get your information, but not particularly.
Oh, huh? Because I heard like some Tremere sometimes use like Garu bones or like old blood or something like that.
The Tremere.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm very sorry.
It is fine. It's fine.
So let me get this straight. It's Javier and Luke in one car, and the 5 of you in the Chrysler.
Sarah was riding with us.
Okay. I thought she was Milliner's date.
No, apparently all of them are, but
That's Dr. Vice.
Yeah, she's Dr. Vice's +1.
yes.
I mean, Miss Strong, do you think it's wise for him to bring a sireless fledgling to Elysium?
Think they have a choice?
Javier, it strikes you as humoring that Luke asked this of a ghoul.
I suppose they don't. I mean, they could have kept him to wraps, but who knows how long that would last, especially with all the noise around the 3 monkeys lately.
They already know about her, I'm sure. They know about Salma.
Yes.
How could they not?
Everyone knows about Salma. Where is she?
No say.
Like, you don't know, or you won't tell us?
I don't know. She is not my responsibility.
I suppose that's a good answer as any.
It's not but a short drive, a couple of miles over to where Route 28 and the two silos breweries on one side and the Haven clubs on the other. 2 well-known landmarks here in Manassas. Is there any conversation on the ride over in the other vehicle?
Absolutely.
And do you take the circuitous route?
I take a couple extra turns to make sure some things are cleared up.
Excellent.
Okay, like I said, you play ball. We have a group therapy session. Jax will be there. Dr. Vice and I will supervise. We'll teach you all what you need to know to be a proper, growing, healthy psychopath. Anyways, Yobi asks us, who is your sire?
Again, like, I don't even know, like, what is a sire?
Who is your vampire daddy or mommy?
Sorry, what?
Our guardian, whatever you prefer.
Who sunk into you?
Is it something you're supposed to remember?
Not always.
I don't know.
Well, that sounds like a predicament.
Are you willing to take directions and instructions? Like, I want to know right now, are you going to be a problem? Are you going to... Do you want in and survive, and hopefully your friend survives too, or do you want out? You want this all to go to shit? Because it doesn't bug me either way. I just know how much am I going to invest in you.
If you can promise me that Helen's going to be fine and she'll get out of this alive and all well, then I'll behave.
I can't promise that, but I can promise that I will try to keep her safe to the best of my abilities, and I do have quite a skill set.
Then I guess I will try to behave to the best of my abilities.
I swear, child, with everybody in this vehicle as my witness, you whip out those shadowy tendrils of yours.
You know, they only really come out when I feel threatened.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you're being threatened. Okay?
Then I guess they're gonna come out, huh?
If you whip it out over there, we can't help you.
Are you really going with that?
They can't see you doing it in public. I'm telling you straight up. I can't help you. He can't help you. She can't help you. It's going to be a one-way trip. You need to maintain your cool.
You can't if you keep talking about it like that.
This is a serious situation.
And it seems like it's something that, from what I'm gathering, you don't fully know how to control.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is try and maintain your emotionality. I would say try some deep breathing exercises, but we don't breathe.
Still getting used to that one.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I still do it on occasion just because.
It's a habit, kind of.
I'm just telling you. Fair warning.
So what are you going to say when someone asks you who your sire is?
What am I supposed to say?
If you don't know, you tell them you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you
Okay.
know, you tell them.
But I don't.
Then you tell them you don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be good enough.
We'll
This
have to give it a
isn't-
go.
This isn't our jurisdiction, so
Don't bring it up.
it's going to be an entertaining evening.
Only answer what you absolutely have to answer. Do not elaborate. If you feel the need, you can refer to me and I can speak. If you feel uncomfortable answering something.
Mm-hmm. Are we there yet?
Mm-hmm. Why, Dr. Weiss, you look simply ravishing.
Oh, Carlisle, thank you.
And I do apologize about not being able to give you a heads up about the entertainment for the evening. However, I don't know what you should be expecting over there. I was just told on behalf of the sheriff that you were to attend.
Oh, fantastic. I will do my best, and we will see what happens.
All we can do.
Okay,
Cousin, I think an extra measure that might be able to help us out is we put Luke on Mel to keep an eye on her.
No.
And so Luke can just watch spinelessly in the corner as things unfold. No, thank you.
He needs to learn how to take care of himself and others if he wants to tag along also. And as I was told in an earlier conversation, he is mine to do with as I please. So I plan on putting that boy to work.
I think Luke has too many handlers as it is.
He's an extra set of eyes.
Gonna lock eyes with Mel and say, this is gonna be a very interesting night.
Absolutely. And she's going to give you a smile.
if Jude had a sarcasmometer, it would be pegged out at her smile. Probably does not elude Dr. Weiss. The study of behavior is a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a quick break. This is not like a scene break, but I need to potty. I'll be right back. If you guys need a quick bio, get some drink, do it. I'll be right back in like 2 to 5 minutes.
I can see.
It's fun.
Nice, we're gonna do it.
Gonna die.
I totally was just about to be like, Mel, are you the type that laughs when you're scared.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jude was just waiting for give him anything to where he can believe he can trust you with something, and
She doesn't give that. Sorry, I tried.
And unfortunately, it's not like I can implant.
Throwing things, and I'm trying to pull you in and give you an out. Maybe you'll change your tune. We'll get to Elysium, and then things will be different.
I absolutely love the fact.
If not, that's also fine.
I love the fact that Mel thinks Sarah is the scary
Right.
You do have that kind of presence, apparently.
She was referring to all of you guys.
Yeah.
To be honest, when she said that.
And that's why Dr. Weiss laughed and said, "We're the nice ones."
Jude is like a kitten, like a little kitten.
Oh no,
Jude
dude.
is something.
As soon as you're dead, and before the cats, they'll just start eating you.
No, but from Mel's perspective, the only vampires she's interacted with are you guys.
Yep.
And so far, you have tried to
Give you a drink.
you have tried to
Feed
tell
you.
her that she needs to feed on humans, that she has to look at people as cheeseburgers now, and have also been sort of keeping her from going back to her friends and family.
Yep.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
Javier's immediate response to finding out that girl is in the basement of the Three Monkeys is, why is she still breathing?
Javier, does Javier know yet? Or
Not yet.
No, not yet. I'm very tight-lipped. You haven't figured this out about Sarah yet?
That makes me think. Dr. Weiss is going to send Sarah a text. I am going to send it to you right now.
I'm watching in chat. No problem.
Okay, let's do this. The ants. I have my improvised face on. It's gonna be cool.
Javier
Oh, Luke.
Javier missed it, but Mel almost killed Rico.
He didn't miss it.
You didn't miss it?
He was watching from a nearby rooftop.
Oh boy.
Licking his fangs.
Yeah. At this point, he's not doesn't have a dog in that race.
So, well, he knows that girl was with you, but he doesn't know she's at the Three Monkeys.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
He was watching on the rooftop, yes.
If you wanted her to live, you should not have brought her here.
There should always be a blood ball or something.
The plan was to get out of town and just beat it.
Yeah.
Eat.
It's gonna be really bad when she winds up dying horribly.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Oh, Mal.
I'm not that sloppy of an eater. Jude, on the other hand.
No, if she
Carries
dies
out a
from-
bib.
if she dies from me, she's not gonna have a mark on her. You're not gonna know it's kindred.
I'm
Plans
saying that
within plans.
she'll get through it, but she's not gonna go down alone. Is all I mean.
Cousin Bibby.
Cousin Bibby.
That's great.
From this angle, Randy, you look more like almost a stunt double for Scarface.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god, it's true.
I didn't think of it, but now I see it. All I can see.
Hey, mate.
Then we can introduce the world.
Mira,
to the black
cabrona.
sheep. We can introduce the world to the black sheep. New favorite vigilante.
There's only two things I can keep in this world: my fangs and my word. And I break it for nobody.
All right. Sorry about that. Need to check on the wife and Loretta and make sure everybody was good. Okay, so as Javier, Sarah, and Luke pull up to the Haven Club. It's probably Luke, you've seen it before. It's a well-established place at this point. Sarah, you've probably been here once or twice, not to like any formal occasion, just regular nights where kind are allowed to be here. It looks a bit different than it did the last time you were here. There seems to be a heightened presence of suited security personnel. Even through the parking garage, the grounds, there's like people walking. There's even a couple of canine units that are walking around. The main marquee for the Haven is actually off. There are a number of vehicles in the parking garage, Javier, as you pull in, most of which are higher end vehicles, lots of luxury vehicles. It looks like this is an important to do, or at least there are people with resources here. The three of you definitely arrive first. Do you wait for the rest of them to get here before going in, or do you pull up in front like you're looking for a valet because there isn't one this evening?
Luke would give a very careful eye to the place and try to see if the staff or the exterior give anything away about the Prince holding court, like what her clan is or what her tendencies might be.
It is a well-known fact that Fiona is Toreador, that this is her place.
Okay. Would Luke know anything about her beyond what's generally known?
No, probably
Okay.
not. Luke hasn't been an active part of the cam in this domain. He's done his best to avoid entanglements, anything further than being associated with Benny. This is not his scene. This isn't, at least I don't think it's Luke's scene. Who knows? Maybe he's a closet club guy. We don't know. But no, this is there is definitely a heightened security presence. There's no doubt about that. That is kind of in your face, at least this evening.
They've added a lot more security.
I'd like to roll a wits and awareness to get a feel for the area, the building.
Sure.
Vamps sure like the bougie shit.
There's definitely, you get the sense that they're very serious about their job. These security people, even though they all look like they're in black suits with no ties, they have like the collarless shirt, but they're all wearing blazers, black slacks, black pants, black boots, black belts. There's no real identifying marks other than their faces being, who they are, but they all seem very serious about what they're doing. They don't look standoffish, but they're not exactly the welcoming sort.
Can I see comings and goings?
From the parking garage, not really. I mean, there's at least a security person on every level of the parking garage that continually walks that level of the garage. They are constantly checking cars. They're looking around. They're checking underneath. They're very alert and attentive.
Now I'm going to park one floor from the top.
Okay, that's 3 stories, so that would be the second floor. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So Mrs. Strong, I hate to ask, but is the supplier of your vintage going to be here?
I wouldn't know. I'll only know when I see her.
Okay, that's good. I'm not sure how our prince feels about Ghoul's presence. Not to be offensive, I'm sorry.
None taken. I know my place. At least here.
So do the three of you wait, or do you head on in?
Oh, I'm waiting.
First, everybody dressed.
Luke would defer to Grillo on whether he should go or stay. He'll glance at him, just waiting.
Sarah is just a bystander, so she will not lead at all. She does not have that right in this place.
I'm gonna blush of life.
Okay. Rouse, please.
I do not get hungrier.
Sarah and Luke, you both can notice that Javier gets a nice color to him. He definitely takes a bit of a change. You can sense the change in him.
Is there a reason why you did that, Mr. Grillo?
Gonna be in public.
The Elysium isn't exactly public usually. I mean, I'm sure most of the people you see down there are ghouls, or at least know to look the other way.
A healthy dose of caution, my friend.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I apologize.
It's not but a couple minutes before the 300 rolls in. Are you looking for Grillo's car?
Absolutely.
And you all notice the same thing. There is definitely a heightened sense of you're being watched as you pull in. The fact that the actual marquee for the Haven Club is off is very unusual. Makes it feel as if this is definitely a secluded event. They're not even entertaining lines at the door of kind like they normally do. At least Dr. Weiss would notice that. I don't think that this is a place Jude has ever visited. Mel, you've heard of the place. It's fairly, if you want to call it famous, it is very well known in Prince William. Actually, over all of Northern Virginia, really, and DC. Outside of the Succubus Club in Baltimore, this is probably one of the hottest venues around. Gets lots of traction on the social media. Yeah, and it's been in the news a few times. There have been events here. Takes you a moment. You spot Javier's car. There is conveniently at least a space or two empty next to him. It doesn't look like there's a huge amount of vehicles here, so the turnout looks at least intimate for such a gathering.
I would pull into the parking spot, put it in the park, reach down by my leg, pull out my snub nose, put the safety on, put it into the glove compartment.
Okay.
Dr. Weiss is letting you do this. She's kind of flipped down the mirror and she's checking herself and reapplying her lipstick in the mirror just to make sure that she is looking as best she can.
Mel,
Unbuckling, getting down, and then I'm gonna reach out my hand to grab Mel so we can get down.
He won't fight it.
and there you all are in the parking garage as Jude is starting to help people out of Milliner's car. Off we go.
This is where she would mutter that you vamps sure like your bougie shit.
Hey, Luke.
Yes, Mr. Milliner. What is it?
A moment.
Of course.
So
I'm gonna put out my arm, loop it, and be like, your arm goes right here. We'll stay together. No.
I'll stick close to you, but I don't really want to do that.
I don't want you to do that either, but It's better.
It's given, but they're not really my type. No, I don't want to give that impression.
You're not mine. You're petulant, childish.
So just two quick things, Luke.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Parcel you dropped off to me earlier.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you once, and I'm a man that appreciates honesty
Of course.
and upfrontness. If you couldn't have told already by my demeanor.
I've noticed that's one of your virtues.
Yeah, I've been called worse. So I'm going to ask this plainly, and that's going to base what the second question is going to be.
Yes.
Did you happen to tamper with anything in the envelope before you dropped it off? And a
No,
simple yes or no.
No, I didn't mess with any of the documents.
The other thing that I would appreciate is if this evening you keep an eye on Mel. And if you see any shenanigans, since you claim that you have a foothold over the majority of us as far as this whole shindig, give my cousin Jude a heads up ASAP.
Mr. Milliner, I apologize if I've been maybe a little bit overreaching, but I appreciate the trust you put in me, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
Oh, this isn't trust. You can consider this a punishment.
Okay. So Mel's he kind of nods over to her.
I wanted trust. That's why I asked the first question.
Yes.
Yes. Just so you and I understand each other.
Yes.
Very good.
We're all in like speaking distance, so we can hear this, right?
Yep.
To be,
Luke knows.
I don't
knows.
to be like,
I don't
Luke,
care if anybody else hears this.
Luke, that it's rude to talk about a person like they're not standing in front of you.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Thank you for reminding me.
I don't give a shit. I've heard like way worse in my comment sections. Like, fucking knock yourself out.
Oh, Miss, sorry, I don't believe I remember your last name.
Collie.
Collie, what clan are you?
Plus something or other.
Akata.
Okay, she's Hakata.
Or-
Is your sire in attendance?
Yes.
Okay, I think we can work with that. I think that should be okay.
I don't know who
Shut
my
up.
sire is. Probably.
Dr.
No.
Rice is doing this. Mel from behind Jude.
Okay, your sire's in attendance, and they are Hakata. That's all you need to say. Okay? He looks at you very intently, like he wants to make sure you agree to this.
She's just like, sure.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on her and Jude, I'll make sure to inform you if anything comes up we should be aware of. Jude, do you have that? I saw you grab the blood bag before you came. You still have that?
Yeah, it's not for you.
Would you mind leaving it in the car?
No.
Could you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do mind. No, I will not leave it in the car.
Okay. Sure. That's fine.
I'm gonna walk by and like put my hand on his face and just move it out of the side
Luke,
and just continue to walk with Mel in my arm.
I would offer an arm to a doctor.
They walk by and Mel's just kind of like, damn, dude.
Mr.
Follow behind Dr. Weiss and Mr. Milliner if Mr. Milliner agrees.
Mr. Milliner, is there anyone else I should keep an eye out for?
No.
Okay. I can do that. Just one person.
I hope you can.
I'll do my best.
Dr. Weiss is going to take Carlisle's arm and kind of nods to Sarah as she kind of goes into the appropriate place, even though it makes her gag a little.
Javier, how are you in this train?
I'm going to bring up the rear.
All right. So you go down the stairs to the main level and over to the entrance of the Haven Club. At which point you do notice the velvet ropes that are normally there for the common folk. There are a pair of very burly suited individuals that are strikingly handsome manning the front door. They simply nod to those that are gathered and both grab a door, opening it for the menagerie of folks, and simply motion you all inside. Not a word spoken by either of the gentlemen. They seem to at least know that you're supposed to be here. The only difference is that they do give Sarah a quick look as she walks past them, but they say nothing. As you enter into the Haven Club, it is exactly that. It's the club. It is bright. It is it is very well decorated now. It seems a bit different than the last time you saw it, Dr. Weiss. It looks like somebody has come in and redone quite a bit of stuff. The main dance floor looks to have been cleared, almost as if a ballroom-like setting has been set up. There are chairs lining around the edges of the walls, all the way up to the bar. There are formal coat and tail waiters going around with silver trays of this, that, and the other to the varied guests. What you notice and hear first is a quite flamboyant, "Hello, my dear. Janet, it's so good to see you again. You've made it.
Yes, I have.
And you've brought friends. How exciting. I was not aware you were invited. Oh, maybe that was my own fault for not making the invite. Who are your friends? I do recognize at least... No, I don't. I don't believe... Wait a minute. I do. And he beelines for Mel. I am such a fan. You have no idea. You are fantastic.
Sorry.
Put my hand out just to make sure that they don't come with super close.
Frederick is a very close kind of person. He does get uncomfortably close to people. He's dressed in a 1920s very foppish suit. He looks spick and span. There's not a fleck of anything out of place on him. He walks with a gentleman's cane. He has long-tailed coat. Is also wearing a large red carnation as a boutonniere.
So Mel has her best customer service smile on right now, right? And she's standing up straight, and her whole demeanor has just changed since she walked into the place.
And he fawns over you as if he knows you, literally.
Thank you, but we're trying not to be super.
Oh, wait! I have to show you something. Wait! Just a moment.
Yeah.
He opens his top coat and pulls out what looks like something akin to a baseball card. but it has your avatar on it, and on the back are like viewing stats of like your highest ratings, all kinds of stuff, and it's in that nice glossy cardboard style.
Did you make this yourself?
I did. Do you like it?
I do. It's actually very flattering. Thank
You must keep it. And he pushes it into your hand.
She'll accept it. Oh, thanks.
I have about 1,000 of them. I adore them.
I didn't realize.
You are real. That is absolutely fascinating. I wasn't sure, to be honest.
Yeah, you might have seen that. We were in the news a little recently.
Frederick strikes an arm through yours, the other one, and begins walking you in, continuing to talk to you.
Like,
trying
grip
to
your arm.
stay on the down low, so, like, can you keep, like, who I am a bit of a secret?
Luke is kind of following them, like, kind of moving through the crowd. Like, he's nearby, but he doesn't want to be, like, in their space, if that makes sense. But the other person, if they're paying attention, would know that he's following them.
Frederick would not key if he noticed you or not. He's totally into who's attached to his arm at the moment. You notice his attention went from Dr. Weiss and then took a hard left, and that was it. Dr. Weiss seemed to cease to exist in a moment's notice. And he hasn't given any recognition after saying you've brought friends. He's literally just giving Mel his full undivided attention.
But tap Janet's arm and say, seems like you got competition, huh?
That's the Malkavian primogen. That's what she whispers to her.
And Mel is answering all of his questions and keeping up small talk and still, like, that smile the whole time, you know.
Do you stop him from walking her away?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I'm locking arms. Like,
okay, so you've got her on one arm and Frederick's on the other, and Frederick's trying to walk, and all of a sudden it's.
Oh, I'm sorry. This must be embarrassing for you. We're together.
No, we're not. He is looking out for me, but we're not actually together. He's just worries that I'm going to embarrass him.
Oh, how fun you all are. And I love the coat as he turns to Jude.
I can't tell if that's
It's a pleasure to
sincere
meet
or
you.
not. That remains to be seen.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
interesting.
You must forgive Jude. He's a very scientific character.
I didn't give my name on purpose, Luke.
I apologize. My name is Luke. I'm sorry. I'm the hired help around here.
Nonsense. And he releases Mel's arm and immediately transfers to Luke. The only hired help in this place is what Miss Fiona has already put in place, and as you can see, and he flourishes about the place, she has done a magnificent job.
Oh no, I agree. I'm unused to these fineries given my status of the blood. You know, more used to gas stations and that kind of stuff.
Yes, gas stations. He turns back to the rest of you. Almost
Dr.
pushing,
Weiss is just laughing.
putting his back towards Luke, and he
Carlisle
trades.
would extend out an arm.
Oh, he
Carlisle.
absolutely takes your hand, shakes it vigorously.
Nice to meet you.
Just Carlisle.
Carlisle Jacob Milliner.
Ah, 3 names it is. And who are your guests and friends? Sharply
I guess you
dressed,
could
a
call
lot
us
of
our
you.
entourage. Yes.
Excellent. Nice suit. He looks at Javier. He sees. Are you playing with your cigar or holding it or what? Is it just like he whips out a very fancy lighter and offers you fire.
Gracias.
And he sparks it, lights it up for you. And you are?
Javier Grillo. Mucho gusto.
Yeah, Grillo. It's a wonderful name. It rolls so easily. And you are? He looks past and sees Sarah kind of being quiet a little towards the rear.
Miss Strong. At your
Miss
side.
Strong, pleasure. Welcome to the Haven Club. I hope you find it delightful. I do.
It is amazing.
Do you know they have a Scooby-Doo door?
Oh, lovely.
Would you like to see it?
Certainly.
Right this way. I think you'll find it fascinating. He turns and kind of near the entrance door, he kind of turns left past a curtain and disappears behind it. Just kind of gives you the hand gesture of this way.
I follow.
You dip behind the curtain and you notice there is actually what looks like a nice bookcase. And he's quickly fluttering through books, and he finally he goes, you have to, and he pulls the book, and indeed the shelf itself rotates open into what looks like a roaring 20s speakeasy. And there's a few people inside that quickly turn and look as if like, who the hell's coming in here?
I take note of which book he pulled. And
he doesn't enter, but he kind of pokes and cheats his head in and waves with a ridiculous grin at those inside.
that is just lovely. I love the 20s era.
Fiona is quite fond of it, and she likes this particular room in general. She seduces people there. It's rather grotesque, and yes. So, and he turns as the door swings back closed, coming back out from behind the curtain, rejoining everyone as the whirlwind that Frederick is. As you all look around, Benny is actually on the main floor. He's kind of making rounds, talking to a few people. He looks a little more dressed up. He's not wearing his biker clothes, although he's not like suited by any stretch of the imagination. He has put on a collared shirt, and probably the nicest pair of jeans he's got.
Very similar to Luke.
Probably.
Yes.
Doesn't look like he's out of place here, but definitely doesn't care about the dress code, and people tend to give him a bit of berth. He does stop to speak to a individual who looks a little more stern, and in fact is the only person you've seen with a weapon. Literally slung over his shoulder is a gold-plated shotgun. And he and Benny are kind of cocked up at the end of the bar, talking and pointing at particular persons.
Luke will excuse himself for a bit and make sure that he's within Benny's eyesight. He wants Benny to know he's there, basically. But he doesn't want to talk to him necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not hard to accomplish. There's not as many people here as one might think. It's a fairly large place.
Okay.
And people are off in little clusters. here, there. It seems whoever the who's who are here. There's definitely some strong personalities in the room. You can hear their voices. There are shadowy individuals in here. One Sarah might recognize as Kylo Lupo, the Nosferatu primogen, is also making rounds, although being a little bit more clandestine about it and not being so much part of the little clusters as being on the edge of clusters. Yeah, she looks like she's listening to just about everything she can.
And I'm watching just about everything I can.
Not much. Go ahead.
Luke, after making sure he's been noticed, goes back to his ward. Miss Collie seemed very talented. All this, I have to admit, I expected worse.
Give it time.
Okay. Okay. Luke kind of looks at his feet a little bit.
You see how like that was probably a provocation and you didn't respond to it. That was good.
You say that to Mel or to Luke?
To Mel.
Oh, Mel is just like not even like facing him.
Just locked arms, annoyed at being here.
She is as far out as she can be away from Jude as she can.
Within arm's reach.
It definitely looks a bit awkward, the link, because like it's pretty much
right
stretched to like its limit.
Dr. Weiss, what's an awareness? It's not hard for you to zero in on the presence of, as well, not just Frederick, but also Lillian, who is lounging near the bar, kind of at the opposite end away from Benny and whoever he's talking to. You might even recognize Mr. Tim Toon from that night. You definitely recognize
that
the
gun.
shotgun. This might be a little awkward for you, seeing some of these faces the last time you have, other than Lillian or Frederick. Least of all was traumatic in your universe. You don't see any of the people that you remember from that night. Jonathan Keats, most of those people are scarce, and probably with good reason, at least in your mind. Lillian's dressed in a very skin tight, neck to ankle white dress, and it looks like it fits like a glove. There is a presence that everyone can feel coming from a second floor that halfway covers the main dance floor. For any lack of a better term, would look like a sectioned off VIP area that's elevated. There's more of the security at the bottom of a set of stairs that leads up to it. There is an absolute sense of presence that exudes from that second level. Everybody notices it. It's unmistakable. Anybody who's ever experienced the presence of majesty would know it immediately. It is likely only coming from one person. It could be easily assumed that she is definitely here and up there. other than
Dr.
that,
Weiss would try to catch Lillian's eye. She's not going to go over to her directly, but at least a little eye, a little.
Sure. Just as Luke got Benny's attention for as much as a head nod anyway, Lillian waves nicely, raises a glass of something, obviously red. The waiters that are walking around have trays of something solid that is being shared by some. There are others walking around with trays of champagne flutes filled with red liquids of all kinds. Sarah, it is a wash of scents. It's almost like you could catalog what's in every glass, or at least who should be drinking what glass. Yeah, the
Jan-
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Janet's going to lean over to Carlisle and say, I doubt they have sleepy time tea here.
Probably not. You wouldn't happen to know how this actually works. Like, do we have to approach somebody to talk to the prince? Do they have to find us? Do we have to be in a seated area?
The last time I've seen most of these people were the spectacular.
So
And
you really weren't able to take crib notes or anything.
oh, I can tell you, and she points to the shotgun wielding person. That weapon's scary.
Where's Frederick right now?
Frederick is making rounds, interrupting groups of people, and making quite the show of it.
If he's ever looking my way, I'm gonna try and wave him over to it.
Okay, Javier, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I'm going to look at Mr. Milliner and wait until I have his attention, and basically tell him in Pigeon that we should make our introductions, and with the subtext of handle our business and let's GTFO.
He would definitely see that and nod and turn to Jude and see if he heard that.
Gonna immediately walk briskly with Mel like up the stairs.
You are stopped dead in your tracks at the bottom of the stairs. The suited individuals close shoulder to shoulder with a hand up.
May Luke make a wits etiquette roll to know if there's a way to like mull over, or if any kind of trespass occurred, and polite, like any kind of polite way he can kind of get them up there.
Sure.
Okay. Wits etiquette.
Well, as you make that roll, and Jude, you turn to the stairs. Are the three Hakata like in tow? Are you guys like moving as a unit almost? With Mel in tow.
I would lean over to Janet and say, if there's any business that you need to conduct here, please take your time. We just have something that needs to be handled upstairs. If you need anything, feel free to text.
All right, Carlisle. I know I had been summoned from what you said.
I don't know particulars on that. You could ask the sheriff, since he implied it. I'm not sure if there's anybody that you specifically need to speak to.
I might speak to somebody.
It's all good.
Be safe.
You're pretty sure
Try.
that you got Frederick's attention, at least for a brief moment. Luke, you know that there's etiquette at these things. You know that there's process, protocol, procedures, and a time for this and a time for that. And it just seems like this is the open networking session of this particular meeting, where People are still arriving. There are people coming in behind you. No one's called anything to order yet. But yeah, there's not been any real faux pas or any missteps. This looks like the thing, whatever it is going on and what the purpose of Elysium is, hasn't been started yet.
Jude, sorry, you'll have to forgive us. I don't think it's time to go up there right now.
Carlisle would come up behind Luke and put a hand on his shoulder and say, "Would you stop saying his name out loud? He is going to kill you."
I apologize.
And he taps his shoulder.
It's not the time to make audience yet. That is something that's called for. We're enjoying the company of others right now, if you know what I mean.
No, I do not. I've not enjoyed anyone's company so far.
Sarah's going to basically find a darkened corner and just meld into it.
Sarah, it's not hard for you to identify actually a group of breathers that are kind of sequestered off to one area. They're pretty easy to identify. A lot of them look a little nervous. Some are actually sweating, and it's not blood. There are definitely some others here who are not of the embrace.
Good. She doesn't quite feel so singled out.
And Jude, as you are being stopped by the two gentlemen at the bottom of the stairs, there is a darker presence just behind you, almost as sudden as they close shoulder to shoulder with a hand up, and a soft but poignant voice. Gentlemen, pleased to make your acquaintance. It is not exactly the nicest thing that you see if you turn to look. Miss Kyla Lupo is a Nosferatu of note, and she hides most of her features most of the time with heavy draped cowls on her head. When you look underneath, she has mottled skin. She's not like a grotesque monster by any means, but more leprous in look. Yes.
How do her eyes look?
Whose? Kyla's?
This Nosferatu lady.
They're fairly feral. They're almost yellowish in intensity. Not quite cat-like, but not quite round either. And she intercedes from the two at the end of the stairs and kind of gives them the dismissive hand. Shall we talk?
Forgive us. We didn't really know how this goes, and for a lot of us, it's our first time.
I can tell. Kyla Lupo.
Carlisle Jacob Milliner.
She reaches out
Extend
and
a hand.
takes your hand. Hers is a bit more bony, maybe thin, leathery. But she shakes your hand nonetheless.
These are
dare
my
say
associates.
that we have a little to discuss.
That's fine by me. Is it pertaining to the business of our summons?
I would say that it pertains to the three of you at the very least.
Lead the way then.
And she literally motions to a table that just off to the left of the stairs. She nods at Janet.
Gonna grab some some champagne bottle glasses.
Sure.
That's the word.
They're
And,
constantly being walked around.
A flute.
Yes, multiple. Grab 2 and then go in the room, and then once we sit down, place them both in front of Mel and say, "I know how you get when you're hungry."
Roll our eyes. What was the lady's name again?
Kyla.
Miss Kyla, was it?
Yes, dear.
I
Yes.
just wanted, I just want to say that you have the most lovely eyes. They're so very enchanting. I
She
don't know how to describe it.
She kirks a slight smile. She's young.
That she is.
Oh, I dare say the three of you gentlemen have stories to share with me. Let's have a chat. And Kyla circles the table and finds a chair towards the rear and just kind of motions for the rest of you to gather round. I'm sorry I haven't made my way to your respective offices to make myself known. I usually do. But considering the hospital special circumstances, yeah?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, oh, my dear children, I love all of you dearly. I cannot say it enough how good it is to see you all here, but let's not be coy. It's not part of the domain.
No, and it hasn't been for a number of years. At least
No.
in the books.
So, let's say it's under new management, yeah?
More hands-on.
More hands-on. I like that. And I believe your name is Carlisle. You are Javier Grillo. Your driver's missing. He's not in attendance. He's not coming?
You seem to know a lot about us.
Oh, I dare say I do. Did you enjoy the package I had sent to you?
So you're the benefactor.
I'm a benefactor.
What's your angle?
Angle?
Yeah, what do you want?
I would dare say that some of our wants and desires are in alignment in current times, Mr. Germain. Especially when it comes to that place. She literally turns and looks directly at Javier. Nice trinket you're carrying. May I see it?
Yes, but be careful.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, you are fantastic, Mr. Germain. I like you already. She reaches out.
I hand it over, and it's still in the handkerchief.
She takes it and unfolds it. Is this his? Is this the one?
Yes.
Belong to an Ezekiel White.
Oh, I'm well aware of Mr. White and his story. He's been quite the talk from a long time. What's your intentions with this?
Let's start with a different question. As advocate for our family, I'm going to require a couple pieces of information before we go any further. What is your position here at court?
Oh. Pardon me. Whereas my formalities allow me to introduce myself, I am Kyla Lupo, Primogen of the Nosferatu of the domain of Prince William, in service to Prince Fiona.
Is that important?
Depends on who
I
you
would-
ask.
I would.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what a Primogen is.
Oh. That's interesting. Yes, it's important. At least within the confines of this house, this court, and this domain. For lack of a better terms, if you don't understand, a Primogen is the elder responsible and the person who speaks for a given clan or a given collection of persons.
Like a head of family.
Yes. If you'd like to go with that vernacular. I'm not unaccustomed to your kind. Although...
Well, then you'll understand our family works in a particular set of ways.
I'm quite interested in hearing about it as she folds the handkerchief back up and hands the necklace back over to Javier.
Gracias.
So
Yeah.
I was implied by the good sheriff here that we were summoned here for a particular reason. Was that specifically because of you or because of the prince?
No, I had nothing to do with that. I assure you, Mr. Miller, I would have come to you directly on my own if I wanted to speak with you. I make myself around.
So any particular reason you sent the sheriff? Instead
Again,
of just making your presence known.
his sending was Fiona's, not mine. It's just he was convenient and I trust him.
Okay. The other piece of information that I require is what is your stake at the property in question?
Let's save that answer for a more intimate setting, not here. Fair? I will happily answer your question. This is not the place for that question.
I beg to differ because I see this as, forgive me, I don't really know you, but I also don't have any real reason to trust you yet, and I can't put myself or my family in danger without somebody that's going to be upfront about certain pieces of information. And when I'm delivered a parcel, like I was earlier, it bears a lot of questions that can get people in a lot of trouble, and we're not looking to cause any waves. So I think that's a pertinent piece of info that you need to come forward with.
Mr. Miller, what exactly would you like to know? What exactly? Can you be specific for me?
I'd like to know what my cousin, Mr. Saint Germain, requested of you a couple of moments ago. What is your stake in this?
There's a blight, and it needs to be gone.
Whose domain is this? That this falls under this farm?
That's a great question because it's not claimed here. She looks then to Mel.
He's just drinking a glass right now.
Who are you?
Well, in life we were. Jean, please.
As soon as you said in life, I'm like shaking my head like, no.
We're not even paying attention. We were a Melissa and Natalie Collie, but that name is no longer really useful to us, so I suppose don't really know who we are anymore.
That's interesting. Have you been speaking with Frederick?
Yes, actually, he greeted us.
Oh. I see. Did he touch you?
Probably. He was pretty forward.
He usually is. I would be mindful around Mr. Von Dorn. He's, quite the interesting person, and I'm sure you'll get to know him. I have no doubt. You carry with you some darkness, dear.
I suppose that is true.
You suppose, or it is true?
Well, to be honest,
She sees
Still-
Luke shaking his head up and down.
I'm still pretty new to all this, and
Kind of like kick Luke from under the table. Like hard, like not hiding it.
You have an affinity to the darkness.
Don't we all? More specifically, don't you all? You all have quite...
Yes, we all do. No, I much prefer your other what are you called? What are the Samdi clan? What are you? What is your clan again? Not you resemble Samdi.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, like that.
Yeah.
The German film. I much prefer Damien's company.
You've met him.
Yes. I believe we shared a meal.
You've shared a meal. Wow. That's interesting. He must quite
Seems
like
polite.
you all.
He didn't ask very many prying questions, and we were very quiet most of the night.
She kind of looks at Dr. Weiss and Mr. Milliner in turn and Javier, and so you dine with the demon.
That's rude.
That's not, it's what he proclaims.
It's accurate too.
They're gonna call someone names. You should do it in front of their face, not behind their back.
I wouldn't surprise me if he wasn't already watching or listening. You never know with him. So, dear, she turns back to Mel. Tell me about Helen.
Well, she is another
Yes, Dr.
Vodka
Weiss.
channel.
She just straight up says it.
She is probably not very happy right now, and well, I am not sure what to do with her.
She gets up from where she's sitting and she slowly makes her way around the table and drapes a hand across people's shoulders as she moves along until she gets to you, Mel. Is she dear to you? And she leans in, saying it softly.
Yeah, I would say that.
Important, even?
I mean, yeah.
Who's her maker? She stands up and looks to those gathered.
Any particular reason why?
Well, it was simply a question that is probably going to come up again, and by the looks of things, probably soon.
And allow me to retort. Any particular reason why?
Her presence is not unknown to us.
What do you know?
We don't know who our maker is. when we woke up, we had no memories of, I believe you call it an embrace.
We do. Some do.
Hold on.
She circles back around, draping an arm across Javier's shoulders, dragging it languidly as she passes, does the same to Luke. Although for Luke it may be a little cringeworthy, she definitely does not, she's not a looker. She does give Dr. Weiss a bit of earth, and doesn't actually come in contact with her. She comes around to Jude and
We've worked conventions before. We can handle this.
You're an idiot.
Yes. Mr. Germain, I quite like to think that you all have this under control and that it won't be a pain in our sides.
No, we know her sire.
Really?
Oh. That's interesting. I'm going to leave that question for the prince. I'm sure you're dying to tell someone. And she looks back at Mel.
I mean, I'd like to know just as much as anyone else, probably more so.
Oh, this is quite interesting. You all are so fun. Mr. Javier, you have a last name, yes?
Grillo.
Rio, you're not from around here.
No.
Where do you come from?
South.
South. It's
From
very
the border area.
nondescript. Borders. Yes. You carry that thing with you always?
No.
Just you thought it pertinent to bring here? Just curious. It's not an accusation or a judgment. I'm just curious. I'm a curious person.
You seem like a very curious person.
Oh, I dare say I am probably the most curious person you will ever meet.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Or one of them.
I'm quite the curious individual myself.
The group of you are collectively curious to me, and I shall say that I will probably be watching you with quite interest in the coming days and months if they are to be had. Mel, she turns again to kind of cant and cheat her hooded cowl enough, and you see reflected back at you your face. For the briefest moment, she shows you yourself.
Customer service smile.
Something you haven't been able to see since the moment you were turned. We'll speak later.
Okay.
Enjoy your audience with Prince.
You have a pleasant evening.
We'll
Yeah,
speak
same
again,
to
I'm
you.
sure.
Be safe.
Preferably with an appointment.
As you say. I'm nowhere to find you.
Oh. By all means. And I hand her a business card.
And she takes it. And it disappears into the folds of her clothing. And she does turn, unless anybody stops her, and begins to walk back to the various gathered persons. She waves.
As soon as she leaves, and we like, what did we tell you?
You know, you were a lot ruder than I was. As she says, sipping another one.
There
Under
are
the glass.
returns.
Okay, I'm going to give you a recap from what I heard. Yes, this person is near and dear to me. Please do something terrible for them.
And she already knew that. That's why she was asking. It was a rhetorical question.
She was confirming.
What's the point in trying to hide it if she already knows?
And now she's going to kill her.
Maybe.
Or something worse.
Or now she has leverage on you.
I would say something more.
As do all of you.
Oh, no.
Worse, probably. She could embrace your friend.
Would that not mean she can live?
No, that means she's dead. And those type,
You know,
whenever they embrace, they become permanently disfigured.
What is your clan?
Not a winning lottery ticket.
Not at all.
that's
Focus.
pretty rude to say, you guys.
It's
Like, I
the
can't-
truth.
Yeah,
What
I can't
is-
imagine that was their choice.
Mel, listen to Jude.
What's your clan?
Nada?
Who's your sire?
I don't know.
Jude is your sire. That's what you were supposed to say.
Ew.
I'm not too thrilled about that prospect, guy.
But that would have saved you, probably. Now you're royally fucked. Double fucked, even.
You don't know who your sire is, but you know what your plan is.
I stand up. Can I have a quick word, cousins?
Of course.
And I take a couple of steps over.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
I have a feeling when she gets called up there, this is going to turn south really quick. So we have one of two options. We can continue this charade and attempt to see if it works. And Jude, obviously I will back you up 100%, whatever you want to do. Or we cut her loose. She needs to obviously learn on her own. She's not heeding our warnings. It's just going to go very badly, and we have business to conduct. And I did not like her one bit, as he points at the Nosferatu.
I like option B.
I don't trust that at all.
I also
Nor
like
should you.
option B.
Yeah, you want to kiss the sun. I get that.
And then he stares at Jude. What do you want to do?
Whether she's
Option
Grown up.
B means a snack.
grown up to speak
Later.
for herself.
We tried.
Our business is more valuable.
I agree.
I'm disappointed. I say that loudly.
With?
With Mel, I genuinely saw potential.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, unfortunately.
That's fine. I have other prospects, and actually, I have a very new one. New toys.
So it's agreed.
¿Verdad?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Milliner, if I may interrupt, I assume that means that
That's a really bad question because you're interrupting whether he agrees or not.
How can I help you, Luke?
I'm assuming my wardship of her is over then.
Oh no, you're still keeping an eye on her.
You didn't hear this conversation. The three of us are off to the side.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that last
wait,
bit.
we would turn around and
wait, can I make an awareness roll to hear it? Overhear it?
Sure.
Yeah.
All Are you activating heightened senses?
I think I'd probably blow my ears out here, right?
There's quite a bit of activity, lots of chatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not the best place to rock heightened senses. But yeah, you can make a wits and awareness.
That is a. Oh, well. Okay, that's a critical success with 8 successes.
You do overhear them, but what you hear is not English, at least as far as you can tell. They communicate in a way that you're unfamiliar with. It's definitely some strange amalgam of different languages and hand gestures and facial expressions. You definitely pick up that they have a way of communicating that isn't with standard spoken language.
I would say the only thing you probably heard is that last bit with Jude, because I wanted to make sure that Mel heard this.
Okay, I retract approaching them and asking about that then.
I would turn and say, Mel, we've tried. You're on your own.
Cool.
All right, now let's.
Stand next to Dr. Weiss.
So you come back from being the wallflower with the rest of the mortals and find them in the corner all having a darkened conversation.
Dr. Weiss is just kind of rubbing her temples at this point. Just things going tits up as usual.
It would have helped if you actually told me what to say. Instead of just, don't say this, don't say that.
Yep.
Just don't mind me, I'm making a couple of notes.
Everything what goes on around this place is very, very nuanced.
Yeah, it is. I mean, people come up, they say hi, subtle threats, subtle hints.
Anybody else we should be keeping an eye out for, Doctor?
I'm kind of looking just to make sure.
So the prince is taking just visitors, correct? No business.
Oh no, business will happen here.
No, I'm saying that she is just networking.
I'm not sure, Janet. You've never been to an Elysium.
Gonna get up and try that again.
What, the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
You again are met with the two well-dressed burly fellows that again slide shoulder to shoulder in front of the stairs. And sir, when you're called.
Is there any specific place to put gifts?
Gifts. You have gifts for her, for the prince.
Yes.
Interesting. I would say
I'd
that when
rather
you are
hand deliver
called,
it.
I would say that when you are called, that you present whatever it is you have to present.
I just wanted to make sure that was protocol.
You are within your rights, yes. There's nothing wrong with presenting Fiona, the Prince of the Domain, with a gift. You are aware of the protocols
My
of
word.
Elysium.
No.
You are aware that should you act in any way untowards our prince, that your life is forfeit.
I'm sorry, yes, I have common sense.
Good. Not everyone does. He says it very matter-of-factly.
I'm gonna wait, like, near there.
It doesn't take long before Benny Blue makes his way back over to you and motions to the rest of you gathered at the table. Fiona's called for all of you to come up.
Very well.
All of us?
All of you.
Hello, my name is Trevor Chapman, and I play Rico Suede on Prince William by Night, the Night Shift. I'm here to remind you that your mental health is a very important thing. We all have problems, and I do mean all of us. I personally have suffered from both clinical depression and suicidal ideation. Sometimes it can be hard to share our issues because we don't want to burden other people, or we're too afraid or ashamed of the things we have done or the feelings that we have to even try to reach out to other people. But friends and family are here for a reason. They would much rather hear that something is happening in your life and help you with it than to find out too late that they didn't even know and they couldn't even try. If you feel that you can't talk to your friends or family, there are other resources available for you to talk to. Please take advantage and reach out to them. There is no need for you to go through this alone. We all need help sometimes. There is absolutely no reason to feel ashamed or afraid to ask for assistance, especially if you need it right now. If you or someone you know is in crisis, whether they are considering suicide or not, please call the toll-free lifeline at 800-273-TALK to speak with a trained crisis counselor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline connects you with a crisis center within the Lifeline network that is closest to your location. Your call will be answered by a trained crisis worker who will listen empathetically and without judgment. The crisis worker will work to ensure you feel safe and identify options and information about mental health services in your area. Your call is completely confidential and free. Again, that number is 800-273-8255. If you are unable, unsure, or prefer not to speak in person, text the word NAMI to 741-741 to connect with a trained crisis counselor to receive free 24/7 crisis support via text message. You are not alone. Trained expert advocates are available 24/7 to provide confidential support to anyone experiencing domestic violence or seeking resources or information. Help is available in Spanish as well as other languages. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline toll-free at 800-799-SAFE. Again, that is 800-799-7233. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, help is available. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline toll-free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-656-HOPE. Again, that is 800-656-4673. You will be connected with a trained staff member from a sexual assault service provider in your area that offers access to a range of free services. For the Disaster Distress Helpline, call 800-985-5990 or text the word TALK with us to 66746. This helpline provides immediate crisis counseling for people who are experiencing emotional distress due to any natural or human-caused disaster. This multilingual, confidential, and free helpline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, call 800-985-5990 or text "Talk with Us" to 66746.